And when we do the estimation questions, so first of all, these example question 1 to question 5, what you need to understand is the difference of decimal places and significant figures. Okay, so decimal places, as the word suggests, is the places after the decimal point. So if I have an example, okay, this is the decimal point first figure, so that's the first decimal place, the second decimal place, the third decimal place, fourth decimal place, 5 decimal place, and etc. etc. Okay, so that is what decimal place is. And for significant figures, it's a little bit more maybe complicated than decimal places. So write an example. Significant means something important, something meaningful. So any number other than 0 is meaningful. So if it's a 0, it's not meaningful, okay, when it's the first digit. So this being the first digit is a 0, so that's not significant. That's a 0, it's not significant. So 3 is a non-zero, so that is significant. Now whatever comes after the 3 will be significant, even if it's a 0 again, okay. So we will then note this as my first significant figure, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the difference between significant figures and decimal place. And one note I would point out for significant figures is when we have actually a big number. Okay, like for this case, okay, e.g., if I want just 3 significant figures, all right, now that's a non-zero, so that's my first significant figure already. I want 3 SF, okay, for this case. So that's my first significant, second significant, and third significant. So this is the 3 digits I need. And then what right after the 6 is a 5. So 5 is greater than, if it's 5 or over, we need to add 1. Otherwise, we don't do anything, right? So 5, then we need to add 1 to the 6. So that becomes a 7 as well. And what you need to notice is when we are doing estimation, we don't want that number to change much, all right? So in this case, like this is like 2.7 million something, right? So if I'm going to round it off, I'm not going to write down 277. I still need that 2 million something. So for that, we will then, after the 7 we have written down, we need to replace all the digits before the decimal place. So that means here it is 4 of them to become zeros. Okay, so we stop writing zeros when we reach the decimal point. Okay, so but in this example, the previous one, because the decimal point is already reached before we start counting the significant figures, we don't need to add anything extra. Okay, so let's do the example. So let's take that off. So in the first option, A, we're looking at 3 decimal places. Now let's look at the answer. The answer is actually given as 5 decimal places. So it is not corrected to 3 decimal places, and for that reason, this answer is wrong. Because it ain't 3, it's 5. Okay, and then the second answer, 3 significant. So my first significant figure is the 8. So second one is a 0, and the third one is a 3. And right after the 3, there's an 8. So 8 is bigger than 5, so you add 1 to that. It's 5 or over. So you add 1 to become a 4. So 804, it's actually correct. That's correct. So let's go on and see why are the option C and option D wrong. Now 6 decimal places. Again, it's only 5 decimal places. So for that reason, it's 5. It's not 6, so that's wrong. And then finally, 6 significant figures. So that's 3 significant we did in part B. We need 3 more. So that's where we will end up with 6 significant figures. And for that reason, this is also wrong. Okay, so the option is B. We will do the same for number 2, 3, 4, 5.